a cowardly attempt to try to tarnish, the credibility and place the blame of blood on Moore's hands. That's why I was like, yo, we're going to address this one time. Because like you said, we all have much work to do. But know that these will be the cowards that won't do nothing except for blame another Moore or blame and not really recognize what's going on. So that's why, like you said, I agree 100%. You really don't have time for things like, what somebody said on Facebook. This is why I intentionally stay off of it, but it seems like, the worst news comes from this particular source. So like I said, and not to cut your wisdom, but, yeah, this is why I was like, I wanted to address this because I'm not going to be going back and forth again with this. You know what I mean? This is the stone cold facts. These people will not take posts. They will not support the nation in any type of way. They'll just place blame. Even when the sisters are standing up, the sisters have more courage than these dudes who are talking crazy right now. That's the main point. So I agree. You know what I mean? So these would be the dudes that you wouldn't want to be by your side because they're going to blame you. You know what I mean? That's the point. Like,
they're going to leave you.
Yeah.
Look, I have been with, I'm not trying to call nobody out, but look, I have been with sons who have run and was going to leave me, and I had to look at them and say, wait a minute, are you leaving me? It's all right because, everybody got to take their time to step up to the plate. It's just that, when you recognize who ain't going to be running with you, you don't be looking to, you really don't look to them to have your back. That's the last person you want to have at your back. That's okay because, look, I can hold my own and I'm just saying. But anyway, if we do this, I can't say it enough, and I'm always saying study, and go back. Prophet said go back to the mindset. We talked about this Wednesday, and it was like an epiphany. He said go back to the mindset of your foremothers and your forefathers. But he also said go back. Go back and check what was going on. If you go back, when the Moors fell, because of infighting in 1861, 10 years later, they established the municipal corporation that is today known as the United States of America. That was done outside of the authority of the Moors. So that lets you know that as of 1871 forward, because we adults, so-called adults, was constantly fighting each other, and we were so ruthless, we would leave the babies by the side of the road. We didn't care that there was no adult to care for them. So these modern Europeans stepped in, picked up the babies, and then, any more that was left standing after the fight, they would go and kill them. Because if you're after the fight, you're at your weakest. That's the best time to kill you. So this is how they got the babies, because if you know about the slave trade was not the enslavement of the Moors. When you look at the chains that they had, they weren't chains for adults. They were chains for toddlers, because that's all that was left. So they're looking to take out the adults now again, like they did in the 1800s, so that they can have a full crop of toddlers to mentally indoctrinate for another, 300 to 500 years. They really think that old plan is going to work this time around. It's not. That old plan is done. The universe is correcting everything. And even if you take out the mothers, the children are coming here with their eyes wide open. These are the Moors of old to sling the sword and ask questions later. So you better be talking fast. It's to the point, and I know many of you have heard this. I heard it, and it didn't come together until today while I was having a conversation. These people have set themselves up to be foster care homes, so-called foster care homes. That's all they know is to halfway, not even halfway, less than 1/4, take care of these children that have been taken, kidnapped from their mother and given to a complete stranger for income. They're doing this just for the income. It's to the point now where the children, because they're coming here with their eyes wide open, and these are the old Moors returned, these foster people are scared to death of these children.
Mm-hmm.
They're scared to death of the children, and they can't do nothing about it because they have zero skills, because this is what they have based their income off of. So they got to take the children because in order to get the income, but they got to sleep with one eye open because the children is coming for them, one way or another. One way they're coming for them because they took them from their mama, and they're coming for them because they're coming back with the memory of what they did. And these is the Moors return for real, for real, for real. So these people like Ali Muhammad and this other guy, they need to step away because these young children that's coming here with their eyes wide open, they ain't got no problem coming for them because they know what to do with people who turn on the family. Even if we can't bring ourselves to do it, they know it, and they ain't got no problem doing it. So we better, the prophet said that we better learn from the signs and the symbols. We all better learn from the signs and the symbols, including the Ali Muhammads and the Abbas. Because the writing is on the wall. Hell, the writing is in the prophecies and the statements of the Prophet Noble Jew Ali. You ain't even got to look at the wall. Islam.
Before you go in, Cujo, if I could ask the mother just to explain, I got a question online. The sister asked, she don't want her appellation to be called. She asked, how are they stealing the baby in a hospital? Is it through the birth certificate, or how are they stealing the babies in the hospital? If you could.
Well, Rob just touched on it. They're looking for any excuse whatsoever to kidnap the babies. For example, if you go, most mothers know that when you have a baby, they do this thing called a PPD test, and they won't release the baby unless you agree to have this test. Now, if you know law, you know how to deflect that. But if you don't know law, and you say, well, I'm not going to allow you to do this test, they will turn around and say, oh, you're endangering the child. And they will come or try to come and take the child for this reason. They also say things like, and we've heard this, I know I heard it, the child is born with jaundice. Well, what the hell is that? And then they say, we got to put him under this light. Now, if you are not standing guard over the child, that light will burn the newborn infant baby's skin. Mm-hmm. But if you don't let them put the child under this light that's supposed to solve the so-called jaundice problem, they will charge you with endangering the child. Because they're not even trying to get you to. They're not even trying to get you to complete the birth certificate. Because people are waking up. People are waking up. They're not even completing the birth certificate. So they're trying to separate you as soon as the baby is born, so that they can fill out the birth certificate.
Yep.
So, like the prophet said, hey, we're gonna be forced to make changes. This is about everybody waking up, but especially the mothers.
Mm-hmm.
When he said that you would be forced to make change, he was talking about the mothers because, you know, a lot of people, they think you look at this man or this son that is your mate, and you're thinking that he's this big, strong dude. I mean, he's got your back, and he probably does, but in reality, he is your child. Because on this planet, it's only mother and son. So who is it that this is for? When it says you'll be forced to make change, it's for the mother, because not only are they coming for your baby, they coming for your mate. They got you coming and going if you do not wake up.
Mm-hmm. And to further answer her question, because she said the birth certificate, and I think you hit on it. There's a lot of sisters that ain't even thinking about the daggone birth certificate. That's like you said, because they're conscious of that they don't need to fill out the birth certificate, or some of them just to stop the drama on it will say, look, it's my culture and religion that to name my child until whatever. See, this is why the prophet said you have to proclaim your name, your nationality, and your religion, and that's why he created the MST of A proper when he did as a religious affidavit, because the doors of religion swings both ways, which means that if you know how to stand on the religion, we have said it before. We mentioned that Obama with his health care program, right in that so-called Obamacare, they want to call it, he has the door out for those who are Muslims or Islamic. He has it right there. It's not a part of your culture to do that. And so, but since we don't claim our nationality and our religion, you know, that comes with that in our culture, then we don't get the benefit of being able to not be hassled with all of that. All right? So when the child is born, a lot of people now might, on the birth certificate, they might say, well, look, I don't know, that's not my culture. So it's baby John Doe or whatever the hell. Or they just won't do it at all. And they know that everyone who knows how to effectuate their rights doesn't have to do it. So as Anna E is saying, now what they're doing, because see, that was the easy way for them to do that. It tied all their little bull crap together. Now they're saying it's medical neglect. If you wanted to breastfeed, they call that medical neglect. You understand? So that shows you how sick and depraved and how much humanity has fallen and how much we need to uplift it. Because that's crazy to say that. Now, Anna E just gave another reason. They will create and contrive reasons to then say that you are neglecting. If you yourself don't know how to stand on your own authority as a mother, then you will let them do that. Just because they made the offer does not mean you need to accept it, but you need to know how not to. And there's those who do know how because they know who they are, and they know this, that as society starts with family, so does the authority to govern it. And that starts at home with the mother. Now, I don't care. The baby comes out of the mother, so whether she's conscious, not conscious, whether she intends to give the baby up, whether she's a drug addict, whatever the hell she is, that baby's still coming from her. And from that point right there is where they're attacking. Now, as far as that birth certificate is concerned, I just want to make sure we're clear that birth certificate is a certificate, which means it's like a receipt, like an exchange, like a receipt of some sort of exchange. It is not a contract. So we put a lot of energy into this birth certificate, but the prophet told you no one can change your descent nature, not even that birth certificate, because it is not a contract anyway. So, you know, that's a whole another program. But just from the question that the sister asked, I trust that what we're saying is, look, they're getting deeper and deeper. Their plan was easy when the people accepted whatever they said and all that stuff. The people are not doing that now. So now, if you have knowledge, it's so clear to you that what they're doing. If you don't have knowledge, they'll just tell you, well, you have to do this because this is what you have to do, and people do it. But now, when people don't do it because they have knowledge, they're having a problem.